Have you read this book? This book is called Conversations with God, Book 1 by Neale Donald Walsh. One of the beautiful things about this book is that it is Neale Donald Walsh's account of his conversation with God. One of the best books that were ever written was the Bible. And in the Bible, there are a lot of people who have claimed to have had conversations with God. Now, I said, and I continue to say, that it is, without a doubt, one of the best books that was ever written. Conversations with God and the Bible. The thing is, when you read a lot, and then you marry your reading with your love of thinking for yourself, you then become a whole person, knowing that you can never know everything there is to know. But wisdom is its own reward. So, hello again. Off the cuff, unscripted little chit-chat. And I just wanted to say to you how beautiful it is, the love of reading. The love of reading is great, because what it allows you to do is to separate fact from fiction. It allows you to know the difference between truth and a belief. It is true that there is a planet called Mars. You may have the belief that people are living on Mars. Is it true? It's a belief. Can you prove that people are not living on Mars? No, because it's a belief. So, wisdom tells you that there is a planet called Mars, and your belief is that there are people living on Mars. You see the difference? The Bible is filled with people who believe things that may or may not be true. And belief is important, I think. For one thing, a lot of people believe in UFOs. They do. They believe that UFOs really exist. I am one of them. I believe that UFO really exists. Unidentified flying objects. And a lot of days you have seen unidentified flying objects. What am I talking about? Well, if you look up in the sky, you will see contrails. That's a fact. And you will see the contrails that are produced by airplanes. That's a fact. Your belief then is what kind of an airplane? Is it United Airlines? Is it British Air? Is it whatever? You can create whatever belief you want based upon the facts that you have seen. And so it is. Now, one of my favorite books in the Bible is the Book of Sirach. And the reason for that is because truth is fed to you in doses in ways that you can believe them to be true. For example, this is out of Sirach. And if you have never read the Book of Sirach, I think you should. A lot of the Bible, by the way, are embellished. As you know, and let me go back for a minute and explain to you how the Bible came to be. Well, many years ago, you had a society. As a matter of fact, you had 4 major societies that were existing in the valley between Tigris and Euphrates. This society, the Mesopotamian Society, consists of different cultures. Cultures like the Hittite and the Babylonians and people like that. Well, one of them wrote the epic poem called Gilgamesh. And from Gilgamesh, a lot of people embellished different stories. For example, the flood. The flood is very much a part of Gilgamesh. So it has been brought down through the years as fact. Do you believe the flood actually happened? It's up to you. Gilgamesh, though, is a poem, an epic poem that was written 2700 BC. That's over 5,000 years ago. Okay? Gilgamesh. Look it up for yourself. Now, the Bible itself was written, well, the first version of it was written around 400 AD, one of the Catholic councils by a guy by the name of Saint Jerome. So what he did was he compiled many different books that he believed were relevant. Now keep in mind that a lot of books were destroyed because they didn't fit into the people's belief at the time. Okay? So we will never, ever really know. And then these books were written, the so-called Bible, in around 400 AD. Now, that's over 3,000 years after Gilgamesh. Then, in 1611, the Catholics and the Protestants were at war with each other. So King James came up with another Bible called the King James Version, where certain books were left out of it, others were embellished, and so forth. That was in 1611. And ever since then, we have had some 50 different versions of the Bible. Now, let me go back to what I started to talk about as far as the UFO is concerned. I believe that UFO actually exists. Unidentified flying objects. Objects that people cannot identify based upon their knowledge and experience. They simply cannot identify the objects. Now, the local belief, the colloquial belief is that these UFOs come from outer space. I do not believe that they're coming from outer space. I believe that they're coming from inside the earth. That's right. Now, that's my belief. Do I have proof? Probably not. But I tend to believe Admiral Byrd when he said that there's a society, a culture of people living inside the earth. I believe that. I don't think they come from outer space. They're coming from inside the earth. That's a belief. It's not a fact. Now, I could create a religion based on that and be so convincing that you would believe it. My point is this. When you read, when you think for yourself, the one glaring fact is that you don't know everything you should know. And because of that, you become a whole person and accepting who you are and what you are based upon your knowledge, your experience, your intuition, and from what you have gleaned from others. So, don't believe everything you read. Investigate and find your own truths.